Hi everyone, I just completed my USA premiere show for the film Kushi, directed by Shiva Nirvana, starring Vijay, Samantha, Kishore, and a cast of many more. My first impressions of the film are that I liked it. I liked the comedy a lot, although I think the melodrama is a bit too strong. However, I feel that the chemistry between the lead pair helps make up for it. The story is laid out for you as it is in the trailer, and in interviews the director has been talking about a sensitive point that surrounds the film, so you'll have to see for yourselves what that is in the theaters. Personally, I didn't feel it was that sensitive, and I think this film features familiar story beats that are present in other films we have seen before. I won't fault the film too much for this, as it is a romantic comedy film and will, as such, feature tropes that are familiar to the genre. Going into a more in-depth review, the first half, majority of it takes place in Kashmir, and it's fun to see Vijay and Kishore and the antics they get up to here. Also, once they run into Samantha's character, the confusion comedy that takes place here is also quite enjoyable. The theater that I was watching the film with was laughing out loud audibly throughout. I wouldn't say there's a strong reason for why these characters like one another. It's a simple they fell in love at first sight. However, like I mentioned before, both of the actors, Samantha and Vijay, are so charismatic it kind of makes up for it. The first half mainly passes with this comedy that is really enjoyable, and there is one silly action sequence that happens in the first half that's not really necessary, but we can give it a pass because it's clearly a commercial calculation and it doesn't really interrupt the proceedings too much. The second half is where the story really opens up and they start leaning really heavy into the melodrama. Mainly it features the conflict that occurs between the lead pair. Now, when they use this conflict to mine comedy, I think it's really strong, and this comedy that is interspersed throughout works really well and it keeps entertaining you and also keeps the proceedings from becoming too flat. However, when they use the same conflict to generate more drama, I don't think it works particularly well because of the way the screenplay is written. Although all the actors involved really help elevate the material here, there are actually quite a few interesting characters that they start developing in the first half and even in the second half. However, I don't really think they're utilized to their full potential, especially in the climax portions. The film concludes in a familiar but clean manner. I think how much this film is going to work for you is going to depend on how much you're able to connect to the emotion that's present between the characters. And I think everyone else, like me, will be content being entertained with the comedy. And as such, I can see this film working at the box office, as I think that everyone involved is due for a hit. The highlight for me in the second half was probably the scenes between Vijay Devarakonda and Rahul Ramakrishna. This is a combination that's always entertaining, whether it be Pelli Choopulu or Arjun Reddy. And speaking of the latter film, there's a reference here to Arjun Reddy, which had the entire theater just explode in laughter and cheers. A strong asset to this film is the music, be it the background score or the songs, which really help give a nice feel to the film. Overall, I'd say it's a decent watch and it's quite passable in its execution. And I definitely think it can be an enjoyable time if you're interested in going with your family or your friends. And if you've seen the film, please comment down below. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts and opinions on the film to see whether they're similar to mine or whether they contrasted. And thank you for listening to this review. And please subscribe if you're interested in seeing more early reviews. Thank you very much.